explain what happened anyway.
Yeah.
We are live at last.
Yay! We finally made it! Yay!
Yeah, I think that's totally my fault. I think my computer just absolutely freaked out.
That's right. We're all friends here.
I know. I've done 2 interviews today.
Really?
And I've used this computer constantly all morning. I think it just got tired of me.
It's a bit tired. Yeah.
I think it just had the because it was just like, I've just done too much stuff today. I think it just got fed up with it. So anyway, so we're here. We've made it at last, live at 5. On what day is it? Thursday afternoon, isn't it?
Thursday, yes.
Thursday afternoon. It's not too bad.
Quick question though, mate. Is that link that we posted? That's not going to work, is it?
Nope. So we need to put out the new one.
Yeah.
So that'll be okay. I mean, this is going to the YouTube channel and it's going to go to Instagram, so people will find it there anyway, so they can watch it on there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we've got to stop, reset everything.
That's fine.
Anyway, we've made it. So tell me, music today. Have you listened to much music today?
Yeah, I have actually. It was quite good. Yeah.
Okay, what you had on?
I listened to one of these albums here. 1 second. Let me reach it down here. Here we go. My good old friend Elvis Costello.
Oh, nice. What one's that one?
My Aim Is True. His debut 1977 album.
Nice.
You know that one, mate?
I've heard of it. Yeah. Has it got Alison on it and stuff like that?
It does have Alison on it.
Yeah.
It's got Watching the Detectives, Welcome to the Working Week. It's Miracle Man. It's got so many great songs, mate.
Right.
Less Than Zero. Fantastic song. Waiting for the World to End is one of my favorites as well.
Nice.
But Alison, as you mentioned, Alison, I had a girlfriend in high school called Alison.
Right. Okay.
And I remember singing this to her all the time. She didn't like it much.
Yeah, you wonder why she dumped you.
She did. She did dump me.
Excellent.
But yeah, I loved him. Elvis, Elvis Costello, not to be confused with the Elvis,
Yeah.
He actually went into the music business wanting to make money, because he had a regular workaday job, but he wanted to become a musician, but he had to pretty much be guaranteed that he would make some money.
Right.
I don't know how he got away with it, though. You can't do that these days, can you?
I think his dad sold ice cream as well or something like that.
Really?
His dad had something to do with some ice cream. I can't remember what it was. It's some weird story like that. Like his dad did something. I remember his first TV performance was in an advert. I remember seeing that somewhere. It was like, where was his first TV debut or something? And it was on telly selling ice cream. Maybe it's an ice cream advert. Maybe that's what I'm getting muddled.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We'll have to find it on YouTube for the next edition. Put it on or something.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to a bit today. I think it's serendipitous I've been listening to it because I've been listening to Nirvana in Utero.
All right.
And I think it's this week or next week. It's the 30th anniversary of it coming out. So it's the 30th anniversary. So this is the official release version. And Steve Albini, who did the original session on it, he did it. And it's a real sort of punky, raw, like it starts with them just chatting and then they start playing and the mix is really raw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they sent this off and they said, no, you can't do that. And they remixed it into this one kind of thing. Whereas this one, which is the official one, I think sounds more raw than the Steve Albini original punk mix. If you see what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. It just sounds like it's more haphazardy, his version, but this one's like shiny. So it's coming out again. They're going to do like an 8 CD box set and all sorts of stuff like that. And they're going to do, they're going to find stuff in the cupboard and say it's brand new and things like that.
Of course. Yeah.
So I had that on today. And then I had a bit of this wonderful album, which is Elton John's Tom Bell Sessions album, which is probably one of the greatest albums that never got made, really. So he was a big fan of the Detroit Spinners, all these bands. And then he went off to work with Tom Bell in Philadelphia because they were on the Philadelphia label. And he only did like 6 songs. And he was like, oh, well, this is like 1977, I think. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll come back and we'll do some more. And then he never went back, never finished it. But the one on this is Are You Ready for Love? That's the big track. But this would have been the best album he ever made. If you finished it, it would have been the best album he ever did. It's brilliant.
Oh, I've never heard of it before.
Imagine just like the Detroit Spinners, but with Elton John writing the songs. That's what it's like. It's the first song's called Slow and Easy, I think. Nice and Slow, that's it. And it's just such a good album. The sound on it's fantastic. This was a record store day special. This vinyl, you couldn't buy it.
Oh, right,
it, so I had to come get it. All that sort of stuff.
Is that where you got the idea for your hat?
No, I've always had my hat.
It's the same.
Yeah. And then finally, I've been listening to. I went on holiday and went record shopping because if there's a record shop, I've got to stick my nose in it. Yes, I've been listening to a bit of prog rock, a bit of Yes. Not sure what I think about it, to be honest with you. It's not bad. Like I got this one, which is Tales from a I can't say it. Tales from a Topographic Ocean, is it?
Hmm.
And they said this is the better one of the two, but I think this one's better because it's more
Really?
coherent. Yeah, they say if you can get to the third side of this, you're hardcore, and I know what they mean because it got really really difficult. Yeah, I was really having trouble with it and stuff like that.
Whenever I think of the band Yes, the first word that comes to mind is no. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Not even of Owner of a Lonely Heart, all that sort of stuff.
I can stomach it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. No, it's like it reminds me of. I know it has nothing to do with it, but Tubular Bells. Oh my god!
Oh come on, that's great. That's really
No,
great.
I know. I'm in a minority, but no, I can't listen to it.
Oh, it's amazing. So I've had a busy day. I've done 2 interviews for the podcast today. We'll put links to our podcasts on the bottom here. Interviewed Paul Da Vinci first thing this morning, who had a hit with Your Baby Ain't Your Baby Anymore and Sugar Baby Love. Interestingly, he got he sung on one of the tracks, said, I'm not going to join the band, but you can use it, and then basically got wiped off. So he doesn't get any credit. So it's his voice on Sugar Baby Love, but another guy said he sung it, and he keeps taking the credit and things like that.
Wow.
So we discussed that a bit. That was quite interesting. And the second one, which I had about just an hour before we came on, which is why my computer probably didn't want to work, was a guy called Simon Williams, and he run Panda Records. And they were responsible for signing Coldplay to their first record deal and Keane to the first record deal.
Wow.
His book called Pandemonium, I'll put it away now, is fantastic. I'll get it out on a break and show you. And basically what was is Simon had a mental health issue a few years ago and he was going to kill himself. And the story goes from killing himself to points in his story, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So he worked for NME for a while, for about 11 years. And so it starts, he tries to kill himself. Then it talks about his childhood, goes back to what happened. And we discussed the forming of the book. We talk about Coldplay, we talk about Keane, their first singles, and it's basically the history of what he's up to right now.
And sounds great.
Yeah, it's great. He's working with a band called Ash from Northern Ireland, I think. Now they're a good band. They were huge in the 90s, still really big now, and they're a really good band. And he's doing a lot of work with those. So it was just interesting to get like a journalist side of the story. In the interview, quite interestingly, we were saying to him that when I played in a band in the 90s, we thought all the bands were getting signed in Manchester because you had Oasis and all these other huge bands getting signed. Turns out they're all in Camden. So if my band had gone to Camden, like they might have seen us. But in our minds, everybody was up that end of the world. So we never played London in the night. For some reason, my band never did it. So also, I'm going to say this. He's probably going to kill me for saying it live, but Panda Records still takes submissions for records and demos. So if you Google Panda Records, on there is a submission form, and it's a long sheet. It says, don't send us this, don't send us this. But he is genuinely, he loves music like we do. He's totally up for listening to music and talking about music. So if you Google Panda Records, if I find the link, I'll put it in the description. You might be able to get something maybe to him to get him to listen to it.
Oh, that's fantastic! I'm going to tell all my bands on Unknown Sounds.
Yeah, but he's a lovely guy. So yeah, that's been my day so far. So in between all this stuff, I've had vinyl on in the morning as well. And then I was trying to read this book, which is that Freddie Mercury book from the exhibition that went on from the, not the exhibition, what was it called? The auction. I went down to see it and it was phenomenal. And to be close to that stuff, like, he's got lots of jackets and outfits that he used to wear. And then when you're standing, like they had the furry jacket, which was he wore on the Killer Queen video, which was the first time they appeared on Top of the Pops. It's their first TV debut. And then you go in this room and you're less than a foot away from this stuff.
Yeah.
It just blows your mind. And there was clothing in this room. You went in there and you go, I recognize that. Like if you're a Queen fan, you know exactly what these things are. That book's really interesting. There's one thing that's not in it, which was quite heartbreaking. Is right in the corner in this room with the clothes. There's a little wig that was right in the corner. And it isn't in the book. But when I couldn't get there because loads of people were there. It was rammed, so I couldn't actually get there. But when you sort of poked your head and looked at it a little bit, you could see that it was for the later years when the HIV had set in, and I think he wore it in the Days of Our Lives video. So it was just to give his hair a bit of thickness, and it's one of those sad realities where you think, oh yeah, that actually happened, and he would have had to have worn that. It was really sad. But that's the only thing that's not in the book, because I hope they're not selling it because that would just be really grim. But it was one of those weird auctions where there was loads of really cool stuff. And then you went round and right in the corner, there was this little glass box with bits in it. And then when you looked at it, it was pictures of the band for like 1971. You think, oh, that's gold. That's gold dust. That's the stuff that I really, really love. And then
Very cool.
I'm just trying to catch up and see what I've been up to. And then in the summer, I went to the Rewind Festival in Henley. I went down there. It's a fantastic event if you've not been. It's a mecca for anyone that likes the 80s. And we got there and the Undertones were playing. We saw Nick Hayward, Nick Kershaw. Nick Kershaw was very rocky. Like he wrote the one and only for Chesney Hawkes, and he played it live. And it was good to hear his version of it. And the whole day is fantastic. And it was one of those really hot days where the sun was just right. The crowd were all dressed up as like Teen Wolf and the A-Team and the young ones. And the vibe was amazing, and everybody was really up for it. And it was just really, really fun. Really, really fun. And I had a brilliant day, really brilliant day. I'm going to do a video on that soon and release it. I'm going to review it. I think if you love the 80s and you want to see some good live bands, go along to that. It was a 2-day. I went on the Saturday because I had a gig the next day. Unfortunately, I was reviewing something else. So, but what I saw that day I wanted to stay for the second day, but I couldn't. Yeah. So, but really, really good event. We got something interesting to talk about in a minute, haven't we, as well, which is coming up.
Yeah,
so, did you want to talk about it now? Or do you want to talk about it later?
Let's talk about it in a little while.
Let's
let them hang for a little bit, mate.
You're a mean man, Pizza.
I am. Yes, I am.
So, have you watched anything with music in it this week?
No, I was going to watch the Whitney Houston movie, but I didn't catch it. Did you see that?
I did see it, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think?
You know what? I went into it not expecting it to be right. So let's talk about Queen for argument's sake. The Bohemian Rhapsody film, it glazed over a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Right. There's a lot of stuff that didn't get put in it, which they probably thought, if we do that, it'll look bad. Freddie will look bad, whatever. People look bad. And they kind of brushed over it a lot. Now, the Whitney Houston film didn't do that. Interestingly, it didn't do it. And I was expecting them to do that. I thought I'll have a look and it'll be okay. It turned out to be brilliant. Like Whitney Houston was in a gay relationship when she first came to England and toured and stuff like that. Yeah. And they put that in the film. And now I figured that would be one of the things they would have brushed over.
Yeah.
In a sense of, obviously there's nothing wrong with being gay, obviously. But what I'm saying is, you know, I remember Whitney from the 80s. The image was she was this beautiful, young, single, you know, heterosexual woman. So, and then all of a sudden, you know, they put in it, they put the drug use in it as well. Also, interestingly, with the drug use there, Bobby Brown didn't introduce Whitney to drugs. She was always sort of on the periphery before that. It just got a bit more ramped up when he was with her, and they put that in the film as well. It wasn't like, you know, it's all Bobby Brown's fault, because it wasn't. It was that was the way around. So I would argue that film is probably the closest to an autobiography telling the truth than any of them I've ever seen.
Wow.
Really. Yeah, it was that sort of accurate. You know, being a music nerd and sort of not knowing things, but just following a lot of music stuff. When you then watch something and you go, that's right. You know, it's like anyone that watches it from the outside will enjoy it as a movie. And it was lovely to hear her singing again. I mean, I know the woman, I think she overdubbed her, but it was lovely to hear her voice again and all that sort of stuff, and hear her singing and the power of it. And it's just, it's one of those horrible things where you see her at the start of the film and she's young and energetic and she's got this amazingly powerful, beautiful voice. And then you get to the end bit where she's croaking and she can't barely get a word out, let alone sing. And she's trying to perform live. And you just think, oh man, what a, you know, and it's the Winehouse story, isn't it? And it's just awful. We should say, by the way, if anyone's listening and want to comment, if you're watching it on YouTube and you type in a comment, it should pop up on our comment box. If you want to say hello or make a comment, we should be able to read it on there. Actually, I think on all the platforms, if you want to say something, just say hello or make a comment. I think we can read it on there. So I watched that and that was really interesting. And then I watched a film called Phantom of Paradise, which was a really strange, I think it's Brian De Palma directed it, and it came out in the early 70s. Paul Williams, who played Little Enos in Smoking the Bandit, he's a fantastic songwriter. I don't know if you know this, and he wrote Bugsy Malone soundtrack, and he wrote a load of good songs. He wrote one for Rainy Days and Mondays. I think he wrote that. Oh, really? And the film's about, it's really weird. It's about this guy that he gets crushed by a record plant crusher. Then he starts to write songs for this nightclub called Paradise, and then the guy writes it, and then he tries to brick him into a wall. It's really bizarre to explain it. Interestingly, though, he wore a mask in the film, and they say that's where Daft Punk got the influence to wear masks.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of and they reference that film quite a lot because it's very electro, because it's early 70s and stuff like that. Great film, really underrated, probably never seen by a lot of people. That's all I can say about it. So
I certainly haven't seen it, but I want to now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very cool.
So I've had a few music bits going on as well, and I've got some interviews next week, so which is nice.
Excellent, mate. Excellent.
Yeah, I've been really busy. So I'll put a link to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe and watch all the videos on there. I've got interviews, live streams like this one, and we've got reaction videos as well. And Piddy, talk about your podcast for a minute. Let's talk about yours.
All right. Well, if you don't me at all, I do a show called Unknown Sounds, which is basically it's an independent music show. We only play independent artists who send us their music. It's quite unique. I think it's very casual, very laid back. I play everything you can think of. In one show, you can hear some punk, you'll hear reggae, you'll hear almost classical kind of stuff, and instrumental as well. Anything. I'll play everything and anything, as long as I like it, because I don't care if anyone else likes it. I do it for myself. But people seem to like it anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's quite good.
What I found about the show is when you'll send me stuff now and again, and you forget there's so much brilliant unsigned talent out there. It's absolutely crippling, really, that these people aren't signed and doing stuff. Like Simon Williams, I was speaking to today. Panda was independent, and there's a real lack of independent record labels that sign really good artists.
Yeah,
I think it's a real crime that's not happening. I mean, could you start a record label in today's society? Maybe you could do it online, but I don't know. If you've got the reach to do those sorts of things, I don't know how you would actually do it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Glenn Roberts. Hello, Glenn. He says, I knew about Whitney's drug use in the 80s. As models and female singers, actors use it to keep their weight down. Absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on, Glenn. Yeah, they did that. They did a lot of that sort of stuff. Yeah. Wouldn't work for me, though. I'm too chubby. But anyway, so are we going to play a video by an artist?
Yeah. Let's play a video by the Sunpin Leaves. They're one of the first bands that ever sent me music, and they continue to do so. They're prolific songwriters, award-winning songwriters as well. They just won the gold medal in the International Singer-Songwriter Association for vocal duos. They're amazing. I saw them in concert. They're really great. And they're lovely guys. Chris Brown and Neil Faulkner. I think the video we're going to play now is Summer of Love.
I'm sick of the news, 'cause all I hear is political scandal and war. LBJ should took us all the way. Now Tricky Dick is promising more. Time to tune in, turn on and drop out, like we did at Haight-Ashbury. We can turn this rotten world around if we treat one another like sisters and brothers. Come on, let's make the summer of love. There's something in the air. We can go to Jimmy at Monterey. Let's make a summer of love. Now your parents don't like the way you dress. Well, I don't think any parents ever do. Put a flower in your hair, show them you don't care, 'cause it's times for me and you. There's something going on, it's time to right their wrongs. We might just be about to change the world. We made a start, a Golden Gate Park, and we'll finish what we've started someday. Come on, let's make the summer of love. There's something in the air. We can groove to Jimmy at Monterey. Let's make a summer of love.
Nice.
Summer of Love by the Sunpin Leaves. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, that's off their album Altered States. One of, I believe they have 5 albums now in the last 4 years they put out there. They're always putting out new stuff. It's great.
That's really cool. I mean, it's end of summer now. It's a shame we couldn't have had it right.
Yeah.
Well, at the start of the
it's
year.
timeless too, because I love all the being American. It's a very American song, isn't it? It's all about the political aspects of the Summer of Love, 1967. It was, with Tricky Dicky and Nixon and all that. It's really, really quite good.
So, what sort of band are they? Are they a country band, or are they?
Well, they've got country influence, definitely. I know one of their big influences was John Denver.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah.
Unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a song called Monterey, about John's death, actually.
Wow,
well, inspired by his death, because that's where he died, didn't he? In the light aircraft. It was over Monterey Bay. But yeah, beautiful. But they're Americana. They do rock. They do a lot of different kinds of music. In fact, one of my favorite albums by them is called Transgenre Express, because it's all different types of music. It's really, really great. But that Summer of Love song is, I like that a lot, because one of the reasons is Chris, the lyricist, sent me the actual the lyrics that he wrote, the original lyrics. You could see it. He crossed out this and put in this. I have that up on my board here in the studio.
That's wonderful. So the Sunpin Leaves messaged and said, "Thank you guys. You're more than welcome." Glenn Roberts. Hi, Glenn. He says, "Hints of Cosby, Stills, and Nash." I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely like that. That's what you don't really get anymore, like vocal harmony groups like that are tight sort of groups of harmonies.
They're fantastic. The way it works, I believe, Chris is the lyricist and the main vocalist, and then Neil does all the music. He's a genius. He plays everything, and does some harmonies as well.
Fantastic. So Diggsy, I think it's Diggs BT7 says, "Hey, what's up, G?" I don't know if that's to our friend Glenn that's just messaged, or if that's to us. Are we G's now? Are we down with the kids?
Hey, Diggsy B, you all right, mate? What's up?
Diggsy BTW7. Diggs BTW. Yeah, I got it right now. Sorry, I'm using a Mac, so my screen's like this big. So I'm trying
all right.
I've got my old man glasses going. I'm like, what? Yeah. So that's the sort of music that people can send into the show, can't they? They can send anything in.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, they can send in anything. I'll have a listen, and if I think it's appropriate, I'll do it. Just another thing about the Sunpin Leaves. Some people probably know Chris was supposed to join us today on this chat. He couldn't do it because we had some technical problems, which is a real pain. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get him on another time, but we're still going to talk about the Sunpin Leaves, and we'll play other songs by him as well. Yeah,
fantastic. Sorry about that, Chris. It's just, and we couldn't even come live at the right time. So, so there's always something going on.
Today.
It's tech stuff, isn't it? Yeah. It's brilliant. So are we going to talk about the thing yet? Are we going
to let's talk about the thing.
Okay, over to you. Talk about the thing.
Well, my dream has always been to have a live gig for Unknown Sounds artists, and it is happening. Yay, big fanfare. Yeah. It's great. I'm so excited about it. I'm nervous as hell, but it's going to be great. And the Sunpin Leaves are going to open up the show.
So talk about the gig and what it's for.
So the gig is basically to have a great time. And also it's a charity gig. We're raising money for Musicians Defend Ukraine Charity Fund. Now, we've been raising money for these guys for quite a long time now. We've done a few shows, special shows on the Unknown Sounds to do that. We're doing quite well, and there's been a great response. Now, the thing about this gig, though, it's a charity gig, but the charity part is when you buy your tickets. We're not going to have people at the gig, trying you to get down in your pockets and give some more money. It's not like that. We're just going to have a great time that night, but all the proceeds from the tickets are going to the foundation.
That's fantastic. We were talking about it a little while ago, and the musicians that are fighting in the Ukraine have nothing, don't they? It's pretty much they don't even have boots. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of them don't have boots, don't have armor. There's not much there.
Yeah.
So this foundation specifically helps out musicians who are fighting on the front lines. In fact, we've played some of the songs by musicians who have been helped by these guys.
Yeah, so it's for a good cause. We're going to put a link in the description as well, and when we do more of these live streams, we're going to basically keep pushing it. So for people who want to know, where is it?
Okay, it's at the amazing Hope and Anchor pub in Islington in London. This place is great. It's It's a landmark pub. The Madless made some videos there. Sting played there. U2 played their first gig in London there, famously to 6 people. But everybody's played there. It's a fantastic. It's a great venue, and I'm really happy that we got it.
Interestingly as well, it's probably one of the last like privately owned venues still going as well.
Yeah.
I was yet again not going back to it. I was talking to Simon Williams about that, and he was saying that, you know, so many independent places like the Bull and Gate have gone, and that you can't get those independent places anymore. So what we've got to do as well is give a special shout out to the place, because they've done a real special deal so we can put this on. You know, they're not charging an arm and a leg, are they? They're doing it as a really generous fee so we can get the stuff on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they've been very, very helpful. I've learned so much, and they've enlightened me about everything. It's on the 5th of November, so remember the 5th of November.
Mm-hmm.
You can get tickets at We Got Tickets. Just search Unknown Sounds. It'll bring it right up. They're cheap. They're $10. What are they doing in this country? £10.
Euros soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we've got some tickets left, so hurry up and get them, and I'll see you there on the night. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because it's really important as well. It's not just like an idea. It's people getting together for a charity to help other musicians. I just think people forget that musicians support musicians. It's not all sort of, you know, everyone hates each other. It's never that way, is it?
No, not at all.
It's just a shame that we have to do this gig in a way as well. It's just
You're absolutely right about that. This situation should never have been, it never arose, but it has. So we are dealing with it, and we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
It's meager, but we're doing something.
What I'm looking forward to is, you know, 3 or 4 years from now, we'll look back and go, hey, do you remember when we did that charity gig for that war that was fucking stupid and pointless?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we will get to look back at it like that and say, you know, we did something at the time. It's nice that we're doing something for musicians. And
yeah, definitely.
Doing something.
It's great.
So is the plan to do this one for charity and then just to keep rolling with the gigs and do some more for the unsigned?
Well, you know what? I made a mistake when I first got this thing together. What I did was I emailed most of the bands that I played on Unknown Sounds to see if there was any interest. Oh my gosh, mate. I've got email after email. Yeah, I want to do it. Yeah, I want to do it. They had a few bands from the US that were ready to come over. Some Ukrainian bands were ready to come over. And I'm thinking, what the heck did I get myself into? You know? But what I decided to do was, for the first one, have local bands. I think the Sunpin Leaves are traveling the farthest. They're from Kent. Chris is in Kent and Neil is up north. I'm not sure how far up north. But everyone else is from London. So it's an easy gig to put together, hopefully, and see how it goes. Because my worst nightmare would be, let's say, David Nero comes over from Washington State, you know, all that money, all that expense, and something happens on the night where it's a shambles and it's my fault. I don't want that to happen. So we're trying it out, and we've got great bands anyway. Do you want me to tell you who they are?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. What does Sunpin Leaves here say?
It says, incredible story of Ukrainian musicians on the breakfast TV this morning who both lost their hands and eyes in the battle. Amazing. Oh, that's just heartbreaking, isn't it? But at least, you know, we're going to get together in this country and we're going to do something about it. So that's the thing. Also, we're going to set up a link which will be in the description. So if you can't make the gig, you can donate remotely as well.
That's right. That's another thing I did, because so many people from the US, from Europe, who can't make it but have expressed interest. So what I did was I actually made a GoFundMe page, and it says, I think if you can't go to the gig, you can still donate. So people have donated. I'm really happy about that. We're going to get that link out there as well. What we'll do is at the end of the gig, we'll put all the money together and we'll send it all over to Musicians Defend Ukraine.
Fantastic. Why don't you have some more music? Why don't you have some more Sunpin?
All right, let's have another Sunpin Leaves song.
I think this song's called Butterfly. Is that right?
Butterfly, yeah.
We're going to have that one. Anyway, this is Butterfly by the Sunpin Leaves.
Another bad night in my ship of dreams, chasing dark shadows from the corners of my eyes. It's like a moth fluttering in my brain. My mind gives up on a battle it can win. I descend the stairs, oh so sleepy I could fall in this house. butterfly. Sometimes sinking feels like sinking in a river bed I thought was dry. Sometimes sinking feels like sinking. Wish I could feel like a butterfly. Sometimes sinking feels like sinking. Wish I could feel like a butterfly.
Cool.
Lovely, lovely, lovely sounds there from Sunpin Leaves.
I got a sort of Style Council sort of late jam vibes from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like I said, that's from Trans Genre Express, and
Yeah.
all those songs are really, really different. I love that one. In fact, the very first song they sent me is off that album. It's called, oh my God, I can't remember Don't Ever Get Old, Robbie. Don't Ever Get Old. It's a beautiful song about death, but it was so out of left field. Chris is probably going to remind me the name of the song in a second here. But yeah, it's just out of left field. And when I first heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't been exposed to a lot of music, independent music, and this was one of the first ones. And I was like, wow, this is really unusual. And I didn't know if I liked it or not. But now it's one of my favorite, most beautiful song. There it is. Care Of, it's called. Beautiful song. Thank you, Chris.
Well done, mate. You jumped in.
I wish they did it in concert, but I don't think they do that one in concert. When I did see them, I saw them at the Dublin Castle. They did a great set of all different songs of their 5 albums. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, as it's a music show, let's just talk about Glenn Roberts says, I got the beautiful South. Very nice. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Glenn, I can see that as well. Beautiful South. Nice. As it's a music show, let's have a bit of fun. Let's talk about pairings. If you could pair a lead singer with a different band, who would you pair with who? And this is open to the people in the comments as well. What singer would you pair with a band? Or what duet would you like to hear? So if you could hear 2 people start like singing together. So I can start it off if you like.
Go ahead.
I would love to have heard Karen Carpenter, Dusty Springfield, and Sandy Denny singing on the same record. I think that would have been absolutely beautiful. 3 different voices, 3 different sounds, singing a ballad. I think that would be really, really sort of different and interesting to have heard. So if you could do a dream duet, who do you think you would pick?
Well, I have quite different tastes.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah, I would like to hear something like Kurt Cobain do like ballad type things.
Nice.
Like a just a soft, heartfelt love song I like to hear.
Yeah, he did Rape Me. That's quite a sort of. I mean, I know, but
I know, but people who don't know the song, it'll be like, "Oh, Rape Me, great."
Yeah. Oh, there's a lovely one from Glenn. He says Bowie and Sinatra.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great one, Glenn. I like that. Do you know what I'd like to have done? Sinatra and Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah.
I think that would have been really interesting as a mix. That would be really interesting. And Sunpin Leaves, Katie Lang and Karen Carpenter. That's a great one.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing a country song, I wonder, or would they do like a sort of Karen Carpenter's Rainy Days and Mondays? Oh, imagine them 2, Rainy Days and Mondays.
Yeah.
1 verse each.
The
thing is, now you've got one more. Hang on, let's have a do that one. Kurt Cobain and Dionne Warwick. Nice. Yeah, nice mix on that. The interesting thing now is with the rise of AI, we can talk about these things as an idea and a joke, but these things could actually happen now.
Definitely.
And it could get to the point where I could sit in my little music den here and actually create those songs.
I know.
And put them together, and it could actually be a really interesting idea. Like I was talking to someone about AI the other day. Is it dangerous? Is it a good idea, or is it a dangerous idea? And I think for music production, in the sense of they redid the Beatles songs recently and they made them sound really nice. Yes, it's a brilliant idea. Is it wise to do like that? I mean, Glenn, who's watching, he knows we're both huge Beatles fans. But is it a good idea to do John Lennon's voice on AI?
No.
Why?
Because it's not him. You know, it's just not him. This is the thing. AI can write songs now, right? They can write hit songs, but do you want to hear those kind of songs? They may be great. They may be great, but there's no passion that goes into it. You know what I mean?
All right. So what if you can program, say, vibrato in the voice to give it a bit more passion, not emotion, but you can make it wobble slightly as if it was sort of semi-upset? Then would you be interested?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure they could do all of this, but what's behind it? It's like people who use the AI to write things. You know, you don't have the skill for that writing. You know, so I'm not going to know if it's AI or not, but I would assume that it would be the person who is writing that, who wouldn't just go to a program and say, write something about this topic. You know, I think it's hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the ink test will be one day if they bring out a song and then you put that out and then you sort of say, is it them or not? And you don't know.
Yeah.
See, Glenn says there's no genius and there's no soul, isn't there? And he's right.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I don't think it's something that cannot be mastered. This is my point. I think it's something that can be done. I think they will figure out how to make it have emotion. They will make it learn how to cry, be happy.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. And I think that's the danger of the AI stuff in the wrong end. But then, you know, I was watching the thing with Benny from ABBA, and he was saying, you know, the problem we've got is, you know, you can't license it. How can you, if I did a track with, say, Kurt Cobain's voice on it, how do you then license that?
Yeah.
Because his voice isn't copyrighted, is it? It's the songs that are copyrighted.
True. Yeah.
So the point is, you know, how do you then say, well, you can't use it in the sense of you can use it, if that makes any sense? You see what I mean? Yeah, promoters make lots of money out of people selling the dead already. It's interesting, that point there from the Sunpin Lees, because I saw the ABBA Voyager thing recently. And that was amazing, and obviously they're not there, and it's in 4K with a live band. Though there's a live band playing that we got, so there is musicians in the room getting paid.
Yeah.
So is it fair enough if you use AI or a hologram with a person, as long as there's a live band playing, so someone musically gets paid?
Yeah. Well, there's all different degrees of it, isn't there?
Yeah, I find it all fascinating. I find the whole thing absolutely fascinating. I just think it's a new world that we're tiptoeing in, that we don't know really anything about. And I just think it's one of those things where it's either going to go really wrong or it's going to go really right.
Yeah.
You know, because there's nothing stopping you like making an Ed Sheeran demo and then putting it on an old cassette tape and just saying, oh, I found this in a boot sale, and no one's going to know, you know, unless he turns up and says, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, some brands that are prolific are not going to remember all the bits they've played on.
Of course, yeah.
You see what I mean? So AI is really interesting in the sense of, you know, I just think of Terminator 2. I've got to be honest. Whenever anyone says AI, I just think of Arnold Schwarzenegger walking around with next to nothing on and all that sort of stuff. I've enjoyed this. I could talk about it all day. If you're enjoying the show, let us know as well, because we're going to do some more, right, Pete? We're going to try and get regular with it, and we just think it's fun to come on and talk about music. And if you've got any subjects you want us to talk about as well, obviously hit us up in the comments. We've got an email address somewhere. Where did I put the email address, Pete? Can you remember? Hang on. There we go. So there's the email address. Oh, no, that's my one. Hang on. That's not it. There we go. There's the email address. If not, you can hit up me or Pete from our email addresses and just say, oh, we'd like to talk about this on your show. I think it's quite interesting and we'd love to talk to you about it as well. It's great stuff. Oh, hang on. I've hit something else. I don't know what I've done, Pete. 1 second.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, there is that as well. Yeah. So accidental genius. Right. Hang on. I've got something on the screen and I don't want it. Oh, I'm so old sometimes. Is it that one? No, that's the other one again. No. Right, I'll figure out how to get rid of that in a minute. No, hang on. What's it? I've got to read it. Hang on. I'll try. Oh, there we go. I've done it right here. Okay. I love this tech stuff. It's all new. It's all exciting. It's all fun. We should be like proper old people, and they should put a brand new record in front of us and say, "Have you heard this?" So we'd be like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
trying to figure out what it is as well.
So when we do get this together, and we do it when we do it quite regularly, it's not going to be under the chatting tracks, is it? It's going to be under it's a conglomeration of chatting tracks and unknown sounds.
And it's called
Chatting Sounds.
That's right.
Chatting
Yeah.
Sounds.
So we'll have it go to a new channel and all that sort of stuff, so you can find it there.
Yeah.
We just thought we'd keep it here because it's easy to find and it's all set up and ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll shoot off in a minute. Should we play one more track before the Sunpin leaves before we go?
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I don't think so. Just definitely get your tickets for the gig, November 5th at the Hope and Anchor. You're going to see Sunpin leaves. You're also going to see this great band called Say Yes, Do Nothing. Fantastic bluesy, great band. In fact, I'm going to go see him on Saturday in Camden. I can't wait to see him. And then the amazing Unorthodox, which is kind of like a rough and tumble rock and roll band.
Yeah.
And then a little punk we're going to add to the mix.
Nice.
Plague UK. So it's going to go from quite really nice, beautiful music, and it's going to get louder and louder and louder to the end. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Fantastic. I'm just going to put this.
WeGotTickets.com and find it under Unknown Sounds.
I will put a link in the description. Let's just put the this comment up from Glyn as well. If an artist or acts is alive, it should work well if it's new Lennon material. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I like that. Okay, we're going to play another track for them. I think it's called November Witch. Sorry, I can't read the title because it's too small.
Yeah, November Witch.
Does that sound like one of their songs? Is that
That's
right?
It, yeah.
All right, we'll play that and then we'll have a chat after.
All right.
1913 in the fall, something wicked cold. Sailors came to town, all Lake Huron bound, but one man he will not bold, afeard they all would drown. The engineer thought him cowardly for his superstition, but he could not ignore the power of premonition. So the Charles S. Price left behind the shipmate. 28 men set sail for an unknown fate. Sight and memorize all their names, so he could identify them when they met again. November Witch hails from the north, preys on the south, trapped in a Russian embrace. November Witch, East Ontario to Minnesota, trapped in a icy embrace. November Witch, and three sisters, sure to get you, trapped in a rusty embrace. November Witch, ships in the basin, all for the taking. Trapped in a rusty embrace.
Nice.
Yeah. See, it's quite different from the other ones, isn't it?
Well, it's one band with 3 different styles so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like it. It's really cool. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool. Really, really different. Andy Parker messaged during the song and said, we're both old. So,
Oh, that's true.
so thanks, Andy.
Yeah, that song was from their latest album called
Yeah.
The Great Lakes, Tales from the Great Lakes, and it was inspired by Chris's road trip around the Minnesota Peninsula.
Right.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
interesting.
me, it's amazing. Now, I've done a lot of traveling. I've never written a song. You know, I never take in my environment and say, "Oh, this would be a beautiful song." You know,
Yeah.
and start to think of how the melody would go and the lyrics. That's the genius of the Sunpin Leaves.
I think, as you've said it now, over the next coming episodes, you should write a song. I think that should be your that should be your task, because you play ukulele a bit, don't you?
I do, yeah.
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 So maybe over the next few episodes, you could write a song.
Yeah, I'm thinking about one about Windows.
Okay. Or what you could do is message every band to get them to submit one line, but not tell them what it's about.
Yeah.
You know that old game where you'd write a line
Yes,
and then
yes,
fold
yes.
it?
Yeah.
Maybe do that with an entire song
Oh.
and then you perform it live.
All right. Yeah, I'll try
Yeah.
that.
That's got to be worth coming back for, surely.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll try that.
Fantastic. Anyway, we're going to sign off. Thanks to everyone that's joined us today. And if you're watching this on the catch up, the links will be in the description of all the stuff we spoke about as well. And like I said, if you've got any questions, just email us. The link will be in the description as well. And we'd love to have your things that you want us to, if there's anything you want us to talk about, hit us up on that. We'd love to chat about that as well. If you can tell the friends about it as well, and your mates that like music, because it'd be lovely to get a bit of a community going. That's the idea. We want to get a community vibe all about music going. And we're going to play some artists that are going to come up from the gig, and we're going to play some different artists as well. We'll mix it up next time. We'll play some different people.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we just wanted to give people a taste of what we're going to be doing and having fun and talk about music and having a laugh. And are we going to do Sundays or Thursdays? What day?
Thursdays will probably be best for me.
Okay, so we're going to.
Sundays, who knows what can happen on a Sunday?
Oh, you're welcome. Enjoyed the show. Brilliant. Okay, we'll do live at 5 on a Thursday. How does that sound? Then people can do the catch up if they want.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And we'll do it from there. But okay, we're going to end the broadcast. So thank you so much for tuning in, and check out our podcasts and subscribe to both. And we shall